Hello and welcome to the Cat Scrappiness channel. I'm Susan from Making Crafts, and today I'm going to be demonstrating our new heart balloon shaker card craft dies. And so in this craft die set you get two different size heart balloon dies, and it's created to make a shaker card, so you get the back pieces of the heart as well, and I'm going to show you how to use this. But first let's go ahead and do some measuring. So the largest heart, from the top of the heart to the bottom of the string, measures about right under 4 3/4, and then the heart itself measures about, let's see here, about 2 1/4. And so the heart is then also is 2 and a little over 2 1/8 wide, and then the smaller heart, from the top of the heart to the bottom of the string, measures approximately about 4 inches, and then the heart itself, from the top of the heart to the bottom here, is about 2 1/8, and then it is also, as far as the width, is about 1 7/8. So that's approximate, but that's close enough so you can kind of see the sizes for these. And so then each one, like this is the back piece for this, the larger heart, and then you have the smaller heart back piece, and it measures pretty much the same as the heart. So for this demonstration, I'm going to be using the Crafty Quocus paper pad, and I've gone ahead and chose some pieces to cut my hearts out with, and we're going to be making a shaker. So I'm going to be using the Twitter padded sprinkle mix, and hopefully I said that correctly. So let's lay everything else aside and let's get started cutting these out. So first I'm going to cut out the background piece, and so I'm going to cut that out of my confetti paper. So we'll have to turn the die down over though. And then I'm also going to cut, I'm going to cut two. I'm going to cut the smaller one and the larger one. So I'm going to put both of these on the confetti paper. Let me go ahead and first lay it on here. Make sure it's going to fit. Then I'm just going to cut some there and one there. You could take this down if you're afraid it's going to move, but once I sandwich it, most of the time it doesn't move. Okay. We've got those cut out. So now for my balloon, I'm going to be cutting it's going to be the frame around our balloon. I'm going to be cutting out of this Crafty Quoker paper, but it's just the pink dots. It's a darker pink and a lighter pink. So I'm just going to lay those on here. I think I'll do it like this so I can save some of my paper. And we may have to take these down just so they don't slide into each other. Just a little piece of tape is all you need to add just to get it to stay in place. So here are our framed pieces, and then you get this extra little heart. So save that. You could use that in another project, or we may use it in this one. I really have when I start a project, I have a little idea in mind, but then it can always change as I'm crafting. So let's get this out. We'll take this one. We'll set these dies aside for just a moment. And there you have another little heart. I love when dies are like that, when you don't have any waste. So when it cuts out something else, then this isn't wasted. You can always use it in another project or in the project you're working on. So if you have foam tape about the size of the width of this frame or smaller, then that's perfect. I do not keep that many different sizes of foam tape on hand. So here's another way that I like to create shaker cards. So I've just cut some strips of 110-pound cardstock. And then I'm just going to, I need to trim this down to less than 6 inches wide, because that's the size of my my Sizzix plate. And then I'm just going to put the hearts on here like this. And what I want to do is I'm going to cut about 6 of these hearts out and layer them up. And I'll show you how I layer them in just a moment. So So to speed things up, I've gone ahead and cut out 6 of each heart. And you can see I just cut them out, and I'll trim all this off real quick. But this is a great time to use up your scrap paper. Like, I don't know if you're like me, but every time I make a card or something, I save all my scraps in a bin. So this is a good time to do that, because you wouldn't have to use white as long as your edge of your papers were white. So you could use any paper that you had in your scrap bin and just cut out a bunch of these little hearts for in place of your foam tape. Now, if you have small enough foam tape, like I said, you could just use that. I like doing this method because I have such trouble getting my foam tape to go around curves and things, and this is just an easier method for me. So I'm just going to trim all these off. We don't need those little strings on them. So then it's very simple. We just layer these together using some liquid glue. Now, as you're gluing these, you want to make sure that it all lines up neatly so that it will fit under your balloon neatly, or under your frame neatly. So I just want to work with it for just a minute, get everything lined up, and then we're just going to press it down and then let that dry while we work on the other one. So off camera, I went ahead and used the background pieces to cut 2 acetate pieces, one of the large and one of the small, and I used the A2 acetate sheets from Cat Scrappiness. And I just ran it through my die machine about 3 times. I don't know if it would have needed that because I have a new die machine, and so that one cut through this acetate just fine using these dies. So let's go ahead and layer this up now. That's all we have to do, because we have our hearts fully layered up with the paper. Now if you're not using these and you're just using foam, then you just skip the step of layering these hearts up. So now let's take our smaller piece, and we're going to take our smaller heart. We're just going to add a little bit of glue to the back side of it. Sometimes I like to use double-sided tape, but since this is so small, I think I'm just going to use the liquid glue. We'll try that and see how it goes. So then I'm just going to take the little heart that I cut out, and I'm just going to attach it to the back of our frame piece. And I'm just going to gently pat it down so that the glue does not ooze out onto my acetate. Just look at that from the front to make sure none of it's showing. Oops, slid just a little, gotta be careful. I'm just trying to slide it so that the frame matches perfectly with this cutout shape. Okay, let's go ahead and take the hearts that we layered up with paper. Now, if you're not gonna layer yours up, if you are using foam, then you'll just do the same thing with your foam. You can attach it to the back side of your frame. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to my heart piece that I layered up. Now, if you have foam, it'll already have glue on it, so you'll just be attaching the glue. And we're just going to layer that onto our frame. Just try to line everything up, and we'll flip it over real quick and make sure I got it all lined up. That's looking good. Gently press it so that everything sticks down. So then let's lay that one aside, and let's do the other one again so you can watch that again. So we're going to take our larger heart, and we're just going to add a little bit of glue to the back side of the frame. Now you do want to use a thin line of glue because you don't want this to ooze out onto your acetate. I'm just adding glue to the frame, not to the string. And then I'm just going to add the heart. Oops, got to get it lined up right. And I did get a little glue on my acetate, so I'm just going to take a little baby wipe and just wipe that off real quick. There we go. We don't want to do much. We don't want to get our paper wet because paper doesn't do well wet. So then we're just going to gently pat that on. So now I'm going to take the hearts that we layered up, and we're going to glue those to the back of our frame. Be careful with it so that you don't get glue on your acetate. I'm just going to flip that over, make sure everything's lined up. It's time to add our sprinkles. So we've just turned our frames over, and we're just going to add the sprinkles inside. So I use 6 layers because this sprinkle mix has a little bit more thicker pieces, but like this pearl, I'm not going to use it. I'm going to lay that aside because it's just some of the pearls are just too thick. But that's okay, we'll use them on other projects. I just want the smaller things. So like the pearls that come through, I'm just going to, like I said, lay those aside. We can use those in different shaker cards. I want to get some of the little, like these little sprinkle pieces, the little gems. I want to get some of those in there, those. They look very pretty and sparkly. I do want to turn them over. There we go. Just, I'm going to flip them over with my fingers so that they're showing. The sparkly side is showing. That may be a bit much in that, but I really like it, so I'm just going to leave it. I think I'll put these in my hand so I can pick through and find the smaller pieces. And the little sprinkly pieces, I want to make sure they're flipped over, like I said, so that they're like little jewels. And I want those to show, so I'm just going to flip them over. Because you got to remember we're working on the back side. And maybe I added too many, but we'll see. Maybe it's not too bad. It'll still shake. It'll just be not as moving around. Okay, let's save these for another project. I like these pearls. I think they would work better with a larger shaker. So I'm just going to save that for, especially if you use the whole front of a card as a shaker, these larger pearls will be great. Oops, I keep dropping it. I'll just pick up these hearts and put these back in. Let's spread these out so they have room for our shaker to be flat. And then we're just going to add the back piece. So once you have everything where you like it, because you know it's going to move around, just so you have it laying flat and have those little jewels flipped over. That's all you need to worry about. So then we're just going to add glue around the frame. And we'll add the corresponding back to it. So the little heart goes with the little heart and the big one with the big heart. So I'm just going to layer that up. There we go. Just make sure everything's lined up. You can just use your fingers to feel. Press it good and then flip it over. And see, there's our little shaker. And I did add quite a few in there, but that's okay. You can do whatever you like. If you want just a few pieces in there or a bunch of pieces. There's another little pearl. I'm going to take that one out because I did not use thick enough. You'd have to use thick enough foam tape or a few more layers to add the pearls in here. So let's see here. Just adding a little bit of glue around. And then we'll add our little backer piece. And just press that down. Get everything lined up good. Flip it over. And just press. And there we have our little shaker card. I think I got the back pulled over too far. Let me fix that. We don't have a shaker card, but there we have our little shaker heart. So we have our 2 little hearts that we can add to a card now. And let me hold it up here because the light may be washing them out. But I think that's very cute. And then the confetti in the back on that paper just adds a little bit more to it to make it look party-like and happy. So there we go. So here's the card that I created using the heart-shaped balloons. And I have a full process video on my channel showing you how I created this card. And so this product is called the Heart Balloon Shaker Card Craft Dies. I will have a link below to this product. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.